Now, a government minister met with campaigners about the smell coming from a landfill in Silverdale yesterday. The operator's Walleys Quarry Limited has been told by the High Court to reduce the emissions of hydrogen sulphide to safe levels as set out by the World Health Organisation. And they've got until next month to do it. Jo Churchill is the Minister for Waste, and she came on the programme yesterday.
So making sure that we have the correct scientific response, the correct monitoring, making sure that we're capturing, containing, destroying, making sure that we can see those levels coming down. I am determined that air quality and the areas we live and work in are better for all of us.
After our conversation, the minister went off to meet school children and people who live in the area. If you were one of the people who had a conversation with Jo Churchill, Minister for Waste, yesterday, how did it go? And if it's something that affects you, it's a story we keep coming back to on BBC Radio Stoke, but if this affects you, if you live in Silverdale, Nutton, Crossheath, Westlands at times as well, and other bits of Newcastle around Thistlebury and round there, let me know. What's it like today? Does it stink today? 0800 121 80 80. One of the campaigners who did meet Jo Churchill yesterday is Mick, who's back with us on BBC Radio Stoke this morning. Morning, Mick. How did it go?
Good morning. Yes, it was very positive, actually. We didn't get the answer to all the questions, but yeah, it's a sort of it's an introductory meeting. It was positive. We got a good response from Jo Churchill, and we're very grateful for her coming up to Newcastle on the Line to actually experience it for herself.
Well, she was at pains to point out yesterday that she's been in the post about 12 weeks, and this is the first landfill site in the country she's visited. Does that give you hope? Does that give you a sense that it is a priority for her?
It does as well, and there's also rather heartening to know that she actually gets weekly updates on only 2 landfill sites in the country, and Walleys Quarry is understandably one of them. Yes, I got a very positive impression, actually.
And how does it compare with previous ministers and with previous sort of conversations with bits of government you've had?
We were rather unimpressed with the statement in the House for Rebecca Power on these matters, particularly the sort of joke about the school science experiment. This is real life. Exposing children to a broad spectrum poison is, it's not a science experiment. It's not to be laughed at. So I was very much more appreciative of what we've been hearing from Jo Churchill.
And what did you say to the minister yesterday then, in terms of what it's like to live nearby?
I didn't actually say much. I was more asking questions, actually. I mean, my first question was regarding the bond that is posted by waste operators with the Environment Agency, and that is supposed to cover site remediation in case of their permit being suspended or they go out of business. But currently the bond posted by Walleys Quarry is just under £1.5 million, and it's to remediate this site would be considerably more than this. So I have invited the minister to look into re-evaluating how that's calculated, so the balance of power becomes more in favour of the regulator to actually regulate rather than the operators themselves.
Did you get any assurances from Jo Churchill about when it will stop stinking? Because I think that's what you want, surely, is the smell to go away.
Not a particular date, which is understandable. It's a landfill is a living, breathing thing. It can be unpredictable at times. However, there were some assurances given. The most encouraging one, actually, was the mobile monitoring facilities, which are these trailers that have got all the kit in that's monitoring the air pollution. She's instructed the Environment Agency that if they need any more of them to be used anywhere else in the country, they're to buy new, which is quite significant because these are £100 a piece, and not to take them from Walleys Quarry. And it looks like provisionally we've got agreement for them to stay for all of 2022 now. So that's reassuring that they're probably not going to be taken away from us in March of next year.
And what about relations with the quarry operators? Jo Churchill told me she wants them to be transparent about what's going on the site.
Well, yes, that's quite a big issue actually, because it's on the unsuccessful injunction papers they served last week. They were saying about they want to engage with the community. Well, I engage as part of the liaison group, but I was actually told that I'm an observer and therefore not to ask any questions. I was actually reminded twice of this, which that does not feel like proper engagement. And in fact, I've tried several times to call Mickey Burks, who is their communications director, and my calls just go completely unanswered. So I don't, and I'm never impolite on the phone. So I find that quite hypocritical to say that they want the community to engage, and then a key member of the community, they won't even answer my calls.
Well, we're trying to speak to them as well here on BBC Radio Stoke, as you might imagine. Finally, Mick, how's it smelling today round your way? It's not a question I ask most listeners, to be fair.
I'm afraid I can't comment. I'm about 35 miles north of Stoke today. I'm in the proper office.
OK, well, it'd be really bad if you could smell it there. Mick, thanks very much for your time. Take care and keep us up to date with what's going on, won't you? Mick Salt, one of the campaigners campaigning against the stink from Walleys Quarry. If you are closer to home, he does live nearby, but he's at work. If you do live near to Walleys Quarry, how is it today? I know I did hear over the weekend when it snowed, anecdotally, it smelt worse. 0800 121 80 80. The number here at BBC Radio Stoke.
Singing.